Okay, Wildcats. Today we're looking at Monday, February 26th, Rational Function Application Part 1 and it's going to be on page 60. Now, Tuesday, February 27th, will not have a video because that's going to be a day that you're going to be working on rational function application problems. And Wednesday, February 28th, will not have a video because you'll be taking quiz 8. Okay, so with that, if you would update your table of contents. All right, now your table of contents are updated. Let's take a look at the notes. All right, rational function application part 1 on page 60. All right, solving rational application steps. Step 1, make the table. Step 2, write the equation. Step 3, solve the equation. Refer to the notes on page 59. Step 4, answer the question in complete sentence. All right, so with that, if you would update your notes. All right, now your notes are updated. Let's take a look at the examples. All right, rational function applications part 1. And that's going to be on page 60. All right, solve the following problems using an organization table to set up and solve the problem. Answer questions in a complete sentence. All right, example 1. It takes Black Panther 3 hours to bring Claw to justice, and it takes Shri 2 hours to bring Claw to justice. How long would it take if they worked together? Use a time equation to set it up. All right, so let's take a look. Now, we're going to give you the tables today, and then tomorrow you're going to have to make the tables yourself, okay? So it says, so when you make a table, you have your doing task or the distance, rate, and then we know that time equals the doing task divided by rate, okay? So it says for Black Panther, the doing task. Well, there's one task, that's to bring Claw to justice. The rate is it takes him 3 hours. Okay. Now the time is a doing task divided by the rate. So that's 1 divided by 3. Okay. Shuri, and I think I said Shri earlier. Shuri, I think I said that correct. I'm going to watch the movie today. So after I watch the movie, I'll find out if this problem is exactly correct and how to pronounce Shuri, but I think it's Shuri. All right. So the doing task for Shuri is 1. The rate is 2 hours. So we know that time is the doing task divided by the rate. So 1 divided by 2. Now together it's still one task to bring Claw to justice. And then the rate we don't know for them together. So here the time would be one task divided by the x rate. Okay, so now that we completed the table, we're going to write the equation. Okay, so our equation is 1 divided by 3 plus 1 divided by 2 equals 1 divided by x. All right, so now our next step is to solve the equation. So what you want to do is you want to get rid of fractions. So you're going to multiply the entire equation by the common denominator. The easiest way to find the common denominator is to multiply all the denominators together. So 3 times 2 is 6, 6 times x is 6x. We're going to multiply everything by 6x. So 6x times 1/3 is 6x divided by 3 plus 6x divided by 2 equals 6x divided by x. Okay, so this simplifies. 6x divided by 3 is 2x plus 6x divided by 2 is 3x. And 6x divided by x, this becomes 1 equals 6. So 2x plus 3x is 5x equals 6. Divide both sides by 5. x equals 5 divided by 6. Wait a second. 6 divided by 5. There you go. 6 divided by 5. So that equals 1.2 hours. Now we want to get a little specific. No one really talks about 1.2 hours. We talk about hours and minutes. So we're going to rewrite that as x equals 1 hour plus 0.2 of an hour, 60 minutes. So it's 0.2 times there's 60 minutes in an hour. So x equals 1 hour. The word plus means and. So and 0.2 times 60 is 12 minutes. All right, so remember, you want to answer your question in a sentence. So we said it takes Black Panther and Shuri 1 hour and 12 minutes to bring Claw to justice. And I'm gonna watch, like I said, I'm gonna go and watch the movie today. So I'm gonna watch it and verify that in fact it took him 1 hour and 12 minutes to catch Claw in the movie. All right, and I recommend doing the same because I've heard it's a phenomenally awesome movie. All right, example 2. All right, a wildcat kayaker spends an afternoon paddling on a river. She travels 3 miles upstream and 3 miles downstream in a total of 4 hours. In still water, the wildcat kayaker can travel at an average speed of 2 miles an hour. What is the average speed of the river's current? Okay, so first let's look at upriver. Okay, well we know upriver is a total of 3 miles. That's your distance. Okay, now the rate, if you go upriver, you're slower. Okay, so that's 2 hours minus the current. Okay, now the time we know is equal to distance divided by rate. Okay, and we know that because we know rate equals distance divided by time. So if we solve for time, we cross multiply. So t times r is tr equals 1 times d is d. We divide both sides by r. So we can see that time is equal to distance over rate. Okay, all right. So in this case, it would be 3 divided by 2 minus c, or 2 minus the current. And now downriver, same thing, is distance is 3 miles. But if you're going downriver, you're faster, so that's 2 miles per hour plus the current. So our time is 3 divided by 2 plus c. Okay. Now the total trip it takes is 4 hours. So we filled our table. So our next step is to write the equation. So we have 3 divided by 2 minus the current plus 3 divided by 2 plus the current equals 4. All right, now to solve the equation, you basically multiply the denominators together, and that's your common denominator, and you're going to multiply both sides by that. So we're going to multiply both sides by 2 minus c and 2 plus c. Okay, so then that's 3 times 2 minus c times 2 plus c divided by 2 minus c plus 3 times 2 minus c 2 plus c divided by 2 plus c equals 4 times 2 minus c times 2 plus c. All right, well, we see that this divides and becomes 1. This divides and becomes 1. So now 3 times 2 plus c is 6 plus 3c. And then that's plus 3 times 2 minus c is 6 minus 3c equals 4. Now here we're going to distribute. So 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times plus c is 2c. Negative c times 2 is negative 2c. And then negative c times positive c is negative c squared. Okay, we're going to continue to simplify. The 3c's cancel, become 0. 6 plus 6 is 12. So 12 equals, and again, here we see 2c minus 2c. Those become 0, so it canceled. Now we distribute the 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times negative c squared is negative 4c squared. And now we're going to solve for c. So we're going to subtract 16 from both sides. So 12 minus 16 is negative 4 equals negative 4c squared. Divide both sides by negative 4, so that's 1 equals 1c squared. And now to solve for c, we take the square root of both sides. Now we know square roots plus or minus. So the square root of 1 is 1, so that's plus or minus 1. And the square root of c, those become power of 1. And we don't have to write the 1c, so c equals plus or minus 1. Now, because we're talking about current, we're talking about a positive value, so we ignore the negative 1 value. And we can say that the average speed of the current is 1 mile per hour. All right, so at this point, you have two paths. If you understood the example, start working on the assignment. If you have some trouble, I'll start going over the assignment in class, and I'll answer any questions on the examples if you need. With that, have a wonderful Wildcat